If you're having trouble changing your habits, the problem isn't you. The problem is your system. That's one of my favorite quotes from the book. How hard could building habits be? I know at first I was reluctant to even pick the book up because what else could they possibly be saying about habits? But the reason why this book keeps on charting on the bestsellers list year after year is because it makes you question how you've always set your goals and clearly why the good habits you want to keep never stay and the bad habits never leave. That's exactly what happened when I read the book, and I think the same will happen to you. Let's say your goal is to build better relationships with friends and family and actually make time to check in and catch up. What would you normally do? You're probably just like me and you write it on your to-do list and glance at it for a couple of weeks, but never actually get to it because let's be honest, there's always more important things to get done. Even if it's something we want to do, we don't end up doing it. So here's what I learned from the book that drastically changed my life. So the first step is to make it obvious. Using time and location can make this a whole lot easier. For example, one of my main things is being able to work out even while I'm traveling. I travel full time, so what I do on the first day of getting to a new city is finding a gym, then booking out the time to be there. And trust me, I've already tried it because when I'm in places that I don't have like a gym or a set activity and time blocked, well, that's when I don't end up working out. Now, step 2 for building habits is to actually find a way to make them attractive. My hack for this is always to find a little reward to give myself. So after working out, I'll have my protein shake or a good brekkie and I'm ready to start the day on the right foot. Step 3, make it easy. If your environment is set up for it to be super hard to make your goal happen, well, it's not going to get done. If I said I was going to make YouTube videos on summarizing the books I've been reading, but I didn't have my camera already set up, I would procrastinate doing it rather than just having it ready to go. And keep in mind that at first, it won't be easy. It won't be easy because you're doing something new. That's normal. But that's when incorporating the 2-minute rule comes into play. The book says a new habit should take less than 2 minutes. So for me, since it's recording my book review videos, all I'm focusing on is sitting down and getting at least 2 minutes of content. 99% of the time, if I'm already sitting down, I'll finish recording the video while I'm already there. And step 4 is to make it satisfying. You'll always be in a good mood after ticking off the thing that you want to do. And that's the feeling you have to tap into to make this habit repetitive. And that's very different than just writing it down on a list and hoping one day we'll get to it. Because we all know that doesn't work. And yes, day to day, the little 2-minute things might not look different, but in the long term, when you look back, you'll realize that 1% every day really adds up with time. Now, the craziest part is that everything in this book also applies when you flip it around. What would these steps look like if the goal was to get rid of a bad habit? I have to be honest and admit that for me, it's scrolling. If I don't set up some rules, I'll literally just sit and scroll. And that's a big no-no because I realized I was wasting too much time for no reason. So here's what I did. Since step 1 was to make it obvious, and the easiest way to make it obvious in this case would obviously be just removing and deleting the app completely. But I do brand deals, so technically that's not an option. In the past, I have gone to the extent, and let's say I'll delete the app on a Sunday and then I'll download it again on Monday when I'm like going back to work, like if I have things to do, because you gotta do what you gotta do. But in this case, it's a bit different. Now for step 2, this time, instead of making the habit attractive, I had to make it unattractive, which sounds pretty easy, right? So I checked my screen time and I wrote a list of better things I could be doing with that time because trust me, it's a lot of time. And then lastly, for step 3, instead of making it easy, the goal is to make the bad habit kind of impossible. Of course, like I said, the best option would be to delete the app, But I did find other ways around it, like using the desktop versions of Instagram to respond to DMs and even using scheduling apps if needed. The book says this: many people think they lack the motivation when what they really lack is clarity. This clarity can be having a habit tracker where you visually see your progress while marking it off each day. Another great way is by finding accountability partners and communities where this habit that you're letting go of is no longer present. And that little trick I actually love. I started to do this. I started to meet with 2 of my friends. We meet every single month, and it's been a game changer. So I highly recommend you guys do it too. You can send this video to a friend and then ask them to be your accountability partner. You guys can share like which habits you're trying to start, which habits you're trying to leave, any goals that you guys have. You'll interchange those, and then that way you guys can keep each other accountable. You don't need to have the same habit that you're starting, not at all. You just need to keep the other person accountable on their own journey. So let me know how it goes, and I'll leave the book link down below in the description if you want to check it out. It's honestly worth the read. And if you're looking for more videos that summarize some of my top books, you're gonna love this video that I'm gonna leave right here for you next. I packed my things into a storage room on August 23rd, 2022. So it's been a while since I've been traveling full time. And while most of these finance books are focused on teaching us not to spend lattes outside, this book was very different. So let's dive in.